on YouTube with my other videos. Yeah, Zach with a full mouth, yeah, chomping, baby.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Come back inside.
Hey, his mouth's always full. That's what we don't know. I know we're gonna be,
That's terrible, Randy.
could be, could be a set, could be something else, Mind your way.
No.
We wanted to welcome everybody to Scott Kirsten's retirement party.
Woo!
Thank you. Scott, can you believe this day is finally here?
Yes.
Scott left 2 hours early today. He couldn't wait to get out the door. And everybody gave him a standing ovation leaving today. It was fantastic.
That one was tough. Seriously, I appreciated that one immensely.
That was something.
Yeah.
All right, so first, we have a few guests that we want to acknowledge. First, Christine Kirsten. Chris. Ginny Lear was supposed to be here, but she caught the flu yesterday, according to Scott, so she's not here tonight. They were very, very close. Mike Mellon. Where's Mike? Hey, retiree from Ryerson. And we also have Rick Schweitzer, all the way from Austin, Texas. Former inside sales manager who Scott reported.
Had to put up with me.
That's right.
Got to put up with it.
I want to start by talking a little bit about Scott and the career that he had. Very, very interesting. Scott graduated from Defiance College in Defiance, Ohio.
Why does that fit?
There's something about Defiance and Scott Kirsten. I don't know.
So wait a minute, you just picked your school because of the name?
No, I had to exit out of my first college before I got to Defiance.
There you go.
By the way, you can say anything you want tonight to Scott, but just remember one thing. Scott's going to have the last word tonight. When he comes up here at the very end and acknowledges everybody, anything you say can and will be used against you tonight.
Because I don't work for Ryerson any longer.
So I think that's a cautionary. I want to throw that out ahead of time. Okay. Scott started his career at Ryerson, Chicago, right out of college in May 1972. He was as an inside sales rep. Scott had a choice of general line sales, plastic sales, and work order, which is fabrication, for those of you who don't know that. Scott chose work order. He spent his first 4 years in the work order department where he learned the value-added services Ryerson offers. Scott then moved into general line sales for 6 months to round out his product knowledge. In 1976, Scott and Christine were married, and within a year and a half, Scott was offered and accepted his first promotion to outside sales in the thriving metropolis of Sioux City, Iowa.
He did. You got a tough one here. By the way, baggage tag into Sioux City?
Yeah.
SUX.
Just
so you know.
So somebody was happy with the move, it sounds like.
All right. Scott ended up leaving Ryerson in 1978 to move back east due to a family health situation. Scott was then rehired 2 months later in Jersey City, New Jersey, where he continued his second career with Ryerson in the work order department. Scott was promoted to telephone account sales. His partner in the same position was Mike Higgins. Scott was given a list of advertising accounts and told to make a sales district. So, he did just that. And in his first full year, he did over $1 million in sales. Jersey City, like most Ryerson plants, decided to close down the telephone account and sales department. So, Scott moved into sheet and coil and later into general line sales, where John McCabe was his outside sales rep. During this time, Scott was called on by management to handle more responsibilities, which included marketing the cold saw cutting out of Philadelphia for Jersey City, purchasing cobble plate for the plant, and purchasing stainless steel long products. In 1984, Scott decided to leave Ryerson and go to work for Island Fabrication in Glens Falls, New York, who was one of Scott's close customers. On a side note, John McCabe went from Scott's OSR to his new Ryerson sales rep outside. On September 1st, 2001, Scott started with Rasco. Two of his interviewers were Tom Becca and Ginny Leary. I don't know, is that supposed to be funny? Scott was offered the job as an ISR, and 2 days later, he was told it had been put on hold for further approval as there was a corporate change in the wind. Rasco became Integris in 2001 at the same time. Guess that means that Scott was the last Rasco employee in Wilmington, right?
Yes.
In 2005, Ryerson acquired Integris Metals, and Scott became a Ryerson employee for the third time. I couldn't write it any different. This is
3 5-year awards and a 10-year award. I'm probably the only person in history that's done that.
During Scott's career, he worked for Ryerson in 3 different locations, and he worked for 4 other steel-related companies. Of the 7 locations he worked at, the Ryerson Wilmington location is the only one that remains open today.
Don't want to worry you guys.
Over the past 15 years, Scott has been one of our top inside sales reps. He has handled several top customers, including JCI Frick, Hadco Hanover, Kovacs, and Follett. These are all household names to everybody here. He understands the value we provide our customers, and he has the highest price margin percent in Wilmington. Scott has trained many new ISRs throughout the years, and he could always be counted on no matter what the assignment was. Scott is going to be sorely missed by everyone at Ryerson, but also at the customers that he served. A few of Scott's customers wrote letters to me that I want to share with you. The letters are all heartfelt, touching letters that exemplify his character, his personal touch, and his level of commitment to his customers. Before I read them, and I'm going to have Dan and Rick help me with that, I just want to say, thank you, Scott, for all that you have done for me personally, for all the employees here at Ryerson, for all of our customers, and for Ryerson in the whole. I wish you and Chris a long and healthy retirement, full of leisure and travel. You deserve it.
Thank you.
All right.
I'm going to read we have 4 letters from his top customers that he handled. And then afterwards, when we're all done, if anybody wants to say anything, come on up, roast them, but be careful, but you can say anything you want tonight, but I hope everybody will have a few words to say on Scott's behalf. All right, so we're going to start. You want to start?
And a Heineken, bro?
Alright, so the first letter here is from Jeff Gray at Follett. While I'm extremely excited for Scott as he transitions into his next stage, retirement, from a selfish perspective, I'm a bit sad. In business, we frequently throw around the word partner, but in this case, partner only scratches the surface. Scott has been part of the Follett team for probably 4 or 5 years now. Time does fly by. His attention to detail, high level of commitment, and true desire to serve our customers has added significant value over the years. It is not unusual where there is a question for a situation that needs immediate attention, that Scott goes way beyond the extra mile and finds me wherever I am to assure that nothing slips through the cracks. Often he knows our business so well that he just makes the decision. I've come to trust that I can just leave it to Scott, in quotes, leave it to Scott to cover the issue. There's no question that he is supported by a fantastic team of people that work very hard behind the scenes. But Ryerson and Follett are losing a truly special individual. I've come to know Scott as a friend and have enjoyed the many conversations we've had. He has been my go-to guy on travel tips I need on the Caribbean. Scott and I are having dinner together soon, where I will personally thank him for his partnership and friendship. But please convey my most heartfelt thank you along with best wishes, once again for a healthy, long, and fulfilling retirement. Sincerely, Jeff.
All right.
All right, so the second one is going to be from Hadco Hanover.
Our friends, right?
What's going to be yours? Oh, no, yeah, wait till the end.
Okay, that's fine. Go ahead.
Yeah, roast me later. I want to be closer when I get a chance.
Right. You wouldn't forget what I said, so then
You'll be good.
All right, Hadco Hanover, Sonny Smith, our buyer, says, "Dear Mr. Kirshner," I don't know if that was sarcastic or not. "First things, congrats on retirement. Second thing, thank you for putting it off for as long as you did. I have to be honest, when you first mentioned retirement last year, I had a little panic attack. I wasn't totally comfortable with things at that point in time, and the thought of the senior person and the most knowledge leaving the game gave me a bit of heartburn. So again, thank you for hanging around as long as you did. In the time I've been buying from Ryerson, you've been my guide. Bob gave me the knowledge, this is his predecessor. Bob gave me all the knowledge he had before he left, however, actually doing it was a whole different story. You were always there to give guidance and support whenever I needed it. And with that, even though I still have my moments, I've been able to get a solid grasp on things. Along the way, you've become a good friend and someone that I can just call out of the blue and complain to, even if it has nothing to do with tubing or poles. And you're always willing to listen and give guidance, or even at times tell me to get over it, which I think I've heard a few times.
Get over it.
I usually yell out and say, "Scott, you're talking to Hadco." Okay, that's fine. Which was without a doubt the best route to go. By the way, you've made a mistake by giving me your cell phone number. I didn't know you had a cell phone, Scott.
He wasn't supposed to say anything. That's coming up at the end of tonight. I will announce it.
Oh.
Yes, I have a cell phone number.
However, you know how to answer it.
Yes, I do.
You know full well I'm going to call at random while you're trying to relax with a glass of scotch or just to complain about something. You'll be truly missed. Enjoy yourself, be safe, and stay in touch. Even if it's just a call and tell me how terrible it is not having to go to work every day and how much you miss it. Sonny Smith.
Nice.
All right.
So Mike Miller at Hadco. What's Mike's position over there?
Mike used to be the director of purchasing.
Okay.
Up until maybe 2 or 3 years ago, he is now in special projects. He'll sub for Sonny when Sonny's out.
So this one's even more sarcastic. So maybe it's
That's our relationship. That's our relationship.
So the day has come that is bittersweet. From the sweet side, you can now get up in the morning, have your cup of coffee or scotch, and do whatever the hell pleases you. From the bitter side, we're losing a great business partner. Scott, you've always been there to help and willing to go the extra mile to meet our requests. You're very knowledgeable of every aspect of our business, and we appreciate what you've done for us over the many years working together. I've always knew and had the confidence that I could count on you to come up with a resolution, maybe not always to my liking, but maybe you went the extra mile to satisfy Hadco. We didn't always agree, but together we came to the best conclusion for both companies, no matter what the situation was. When I reminisce about the great times we had the annual Hadco Ryerson York Haven golf outing, I can't help but tell you not to take golf too seriously, Scott. Take some much-needed lessons during retirement. And don't try to make golf part of your retirement income because you'll go broke in a week. I should know because I played your foursome many times. I know you're looking forward to traveling during your retirement. I truly hope you enjoy it. I wish you the very best. Happy retirement.
Awesome.
That's typical Mike Miller.
That is the Mike Miller.
That is
all right.
Mike Miller.
Okay, gonna save the best for last here. This letter is to Scott Kirshner from Frank Fisher at Kovach. Okay? I first met Scott on the phone in early 2010. He, the inside sales rep for Ryerson, and me, the brand new raw materials buyer for Kovatch organization. With only 1 year prior purchasing experience and about as much experience in metal as you get from crushing beer cans and cashing them in at the local scrapyard, I was about as green as they come. When I was introduced to Scott on the phone by the person I was replacing, I was told, listen to him. He knows the material requirements of this company better than anyone here, and he knows metal in general even more. As it turns out, that man was right on both accounts. Early on, Scott and I found out we had a mutual passion, Scotch. And we discussed it somewhat frequently. It was nice to have a salesman that was also a friend and shared some of the same interests as I, and would take a few minutes to chat from time to time. Over the 6 years that I bought material, Scott was a huge help in teaching me how the industry worked and helping me learn the terminology of the metals business. He helped me out of many tough spots throughout the years, and his attention to detail and ability with spreadsheets prevented many more. He was truly the best inside salesman I had, and I turned to him often for advice and guidance over the years. His hard work and dedication to helping his customers made my job very easy most of the time, and for that, I thank you, Scott. Since I have passed the torch, so to speak, at the beginning of 2016, I have really missed talking to you and wish that the vendors I have now were half as dedicated to making sure I have what I need when I need it as you were. As fate would have it, today is also my last day at KME. Thank you for everything and good luck in your retirement. Enjoy the islands. You earned it, my friend, Frank Fisher.
Absolutely no prepared comments, so I made, no. Scott, I don't know how many of you guys know this, but Scott and I actually, before I came to Ryerson about 8 years ago, we worked together some when I was at Alcoa. I was a vendor then, and Scott would call with order, buyouts and stuff like that. So Scott and I worked together for almost 10 years, I guess, at this point, between Ryerson and Alcoa. In working with Scott, I worked with Scott as a vendor for Scott. I worked with Scott as on the desk with him, and inside sales manager with Scott, or inside sales rep with Scott, and then I've worked as an inside sales manager, and now I'm in a corporate role. Scott's helped me out with a few things. What I can tell you is, Scott's always been my go-to guy, because I've only been in the metals for 10 years at this point, and my easiest thing for me on my desk, when I don't know what to do, I go, Scott, come here. That was because I knew, when I didn't know it, he was literally a slightly raised voice away, and he could come and help me out, and he would know the answer. He and I may not always agree on the answer. We've had plenty of conversations, where we debated what the answer really should be. But I knew that I could count on Scott to give me a straight answer and to help me out whenever I needed it. And I have carried that into my new role. I called Scott on a couple occasions and said, hey Scott, working on some contracts, I need some help there. And he's more than willing, more than happy to help out. So, from that, I need to get that help. Because I'm just joking. But he is. He's also. Scott has always been there. He's always been willing to help out. He'll give it to you straight. You better listen to him the first time because he doesn't like to have to tell you twice. He'll tell you I told you that once, but he will give it to you straight the first time. So raise my glass. To Scott. Happy retirement. Scott,
Clank, 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 clank.
Get no.
I got five more to go, man.
Mr. Kirshner, we worked together a handful of years, a lot of years. And throughout your career, everybody that you work with knows about you and shape you into the individual that you are. There's always that special group, that handful of people that take you to the next level. And honestly, there's a few in this room right now that got me where I am, and I am forever grateful. I I've been in some roles that were over my head, and I was trying like heck to find everything I could on Google.com, and when I couldn't, I went to Kirshner.com.
That's a great one.
But in any case, no, I think everything that you've done over the years to help me. I joked around earlier today saying that I wasn't happy for you, I was jealous of you. I am happy and still jealous of you. In any case, best of luck to you and the missus in your retirement.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Anybody want to step up? Anybody? Mike?
You need to say something?
I do. Uh-oh. Well, you worked with him for 15 years at least.
Where'd you begin? As most of you know, Scott and I had a very good, easygoing relationship. We never once had any problems. Never.
At least you're honest.
I'll tell you this, that I always got to work between 5:15 and 5:30 in the morning. The reason for that was to make sure all his damn customers were taken care of. Because at 6:30 in the morning, he would be in my office saying, why didn't this go and why didn't this go? So, for the most part, you know, we had a very good relationship between us. We did have our differences.
As long as you made the truck, I mean, there's no problem.
But the main thing was, at the end of the day, Scott was only worried about one thing. And I'm sure all of you know what that is. The customer. That's all he was ever worried about. Didn't care about anything else, just take care of the customer. And for the most part, again, we were kind of alike. Because my job was to take care of the customer. But again, I got there at 5:30 to make sure his stuff was on the truck.
Thanks, Mike. Anyone else? Yeah? Anybody else want to come up? All right. Sure. Okay.
Scott's turn.
Scotty, it's your turn.
My turn.
Come on up. We have some gifts for you.
Just trying to sweeten you up, Scott.
Yeah, I know. Trying to make it easy. Several things. As I look back over my career, I can smile simply because I really truly have done what I felt I set out to do. But having said that, I didn't do that alone. There was a lot of support, a lot of people behind me. To the office staff, current service department, and the plant, I thank you. You guys made me look as good as, you know, you could. John Netta, Rick Switzer, what's your name? You guys, I've got to just tap my hat off to you. The group that you have put in place right now is noticeably better than any other group that I have worked with in 14.5 years. Keep it going. It can always be better. John knows that. To those three people, I want to throw in Larry and two people who couldn't make it tonight. One is Tina, and the other is Ginny Larry. That's 4 inside salesmen, shop manager, and Larry. Guys, I know fully well that there are times I was an absolute pain in your ass.
Thank you. Thank you. I heard it. You got this on video.
Let me tell you, I actually had, many years ago, a staff member in Jersey City call me that to my face. I smiled and I thanked him. Needless to say, that wasn't the reaction he was expecting. And by the way, for those guys, you know, for the time I've been in, pain in your ass, you can thank me. I went on to say that if I wasn't occasionally a pain in his ass, I wasn't doing my job. It It's as simple as that. I kind of apologize. Not all the time, you know, it wasn't right all the time, but I was trying to drive the company forward. I saw a problem, everything else. I think that pretty well takes care of management and, you know, staff that leads the inside sales force, along with the outside sales force. If Ginny were here, I send a personal thanks for her. Because about 12 years ago, we had a review, and at the end of it, she asked me if there was anything else I wanted to say. And I said, hey, quite honestly, I didn't think you guys were using me to my best talents. Told her I thought I should be handling some of the larger accounts, reorganizing them, and going ahead. She believed me, as did others. Kind of piled it on, let me prove it. And in all honesty, I've worked over the last 10 years where I felt that I was the best I could do for the company, and I enjoyed it. To the inside sales force, there isn't a single one of any of you that doesn't have talents in certain areas that are much would bear mine. Know what they are. Figure them out and lead with them. Take your other things, try and improve them, but throw them behind. A couple of things will happen. One, you'll start to drive Wilmington where they want to go. And two, I hope that when you get into my position, you can look back and say what I started out with tonight. And that is, I'm reasonably satisfied with what I've done. I'm happy with it. That's a good feeling. Having said that, I won't miss Ryerson at all. What I will miss is all of you. And in an effort to keep contact with you, who's got pencil and paper?
Cell phone.
Are you ready? And, you know, somebody already blew it. You know that I've got a cell phone. The cell phone number is 302-332-7698.
You have a voicemail sign?
Or 89.
Oh, wait.
You can't use it already.
7689?
Yeah, 7689.
Hang on, I'm calling it.
I've got it turned off.
Surprise, surprise.
He has it. He didn't promise it would ever be on.
Okay, I'll turn it on. But anyway, in all honesty, I'd love to hear from you. I don't care if it's personal. That's even great, but even if it's work. And Larry, even if it's Hatco.
Thank you.
Call me.
You know I will.
Thank you, one and all.
Do the honors.
Oh, Scott, you're not going anywhere. Come on up.
Okay.
Well, here's your card first. You learned that from us. You got a little card.
About saying he's recently satisfied, he's happy for his son.
No, it's not going to blow. Nothing's going to blow. Each and every number.
Thank you.
I thank you, one and all.
So everybody knows how much Scott likes to travel, so we kind of kept that theme. Scott, we got you a brand new suitcase.
Wow.
Behind the bow. What's your carry-on? There's that. Samsonite, nothing but the best.
There you go, dear.
Who, Frank? Boy pitched in and got you a Say Yes, Figure It Out bracelet. Thanks, Hoy, wherever you are.
He's over here.
He's over
Good
there.
job.
I'll say maybe I'll get to it next week.
Yeah.
More around to it.
We gotta open that up.
More around to it.
Oh.
This should do you really good in the Caribbean.
You passed a picture, but, well,
Yeah, picture.
Picture, put it on.
Yeah, what's that all about?
Put it on.
Yes,
We also got Scott a new coffee mug.